You can't make this stuff up. They play identity politics. They can't even tweet without demonizing white men for founding America, for shame, for capitalism, for Second Amendment rights. They probably blame white men for the potholes in our roads. And then they pick the oldest, whitest man of them all in a field of all these candidates. I just can't with them.
Yeah, I had to sit on this one for a little bit because I was trying to figure out why would the intersectionality queens go with, as you said, the oldest, whitest guy. And I think it's actually quite scary what you're seeing, because I think what you're seeing is that these people are actually socialists, and they recognize Bernie Sanders as the OG socialist. He's the original one. He was, a commie in Burlington. He's a commie now, and he actually believes what he says. And you've got all these people on this debate stage who are just saying this stuff because it's in vogue right now to be as radical as possible. But they know Bernie actually believes it. Bernie honeymooned in the Soviet Union. So they know Bernie's actually a socialist. Bernie actually believes these policies, and that's why they're standing behind him. So I think, we can laugh at it, and it's really hard not to. But at the end of the day, I think it's proof that these people are actually straight up commies.
Right, they're hardcore socialists. I mean, I agree. I can't help laughing at it because of the visual. It's so funny to hear these. They basically spend most of their time race baiting, and then they choose as their candidate the oldest, whitest man. I'm not going to be able to get past that. I'm not going to lie to you. But I think you're right. I mean, Bernie Sanders last week, he was trying to differentiate between himself and Elizabeth Warren. And you want to know what he said? He said, well, I think Elizabeth at her heart is a capitalist, and I'm not. I mean, nobody else admits that. Even Elizabeth Warren doesn't pretend, or she pretends she's not a socialist, even though all her policies are socialist. Bernie Sanders was the only one on that stage last night that was like, well, yeah, I'm going to raise middle-class taxes for health care. He at least tells the truth about being a socialist, and that's what these people want. You and I have talked before on this show about AOC's Green New Deal and how it's wrapped in green leaves, but truly you unwrap it and it is the color red. It is communist red in the policies underneath. This kind of proves it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you've got people like Kamala Harris on that stage who, now is super woke, now espouses policies that are more in line with Bernie. You've got Elizabeth Warren, who used to be a Republican, or at least a conservative, and now she's, super leftist. Bernie's the only person on that stage who has been true to his beliefs as a socialist since I can remember.
Well,
and so I think that
before
attracts
you and I were born,
squad.
because he's been in Congress for about 250 years.
Yeah, for long before we were both
Here's
born.
the thing.
Yes.
Here's my hot take on this, though. Some people are saying that this is going to make a difference for Bernie Sanders' campaign, that this is going to be, the new young life that he needs, to rejuvenate his campaign, especially after his health scare, his heart attack, all of that. I don't think so. I don't think that AOC and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib are going to bring anybody to Bernie's campaign that wouldn't have already voted for him. The people in question that matter the most for these elections are the middle ground voters, the moderate voters, or if you want to call them moderate or centrist voters who voted for Barack Obama and then voted for Donald Trump, that switch between parties. AOC is not going to convince any middle ground voters to come over to Bernie Sanders' side. They have the same fan base.